Hello everybody, Megazard here. I'm back at it again to give y'all another video, and this one is going to be a little bit of a different video because I was thinking about this, and obviously today Nintendo, or the Pokemon Company, has announced some details about their Pokemon Home service application that should be dropping in February of 2020. And originally I was thinking, you know what, I should be able to cover this as a news topic within my Gamers Briefs that I drop out on Friday though, but it was actually a little bit more information than kind of what I want to briefly kind of discuss that within my Gamers Brief thing. So I decided, you know what, I guess this can sort of kind of deserve its own full video in itself, just kind of me going through all the details with all of y'all, as well as kind of giving my thoughts about each little thing though. So here in front of me, I got on the website, the Pokemon Home application, and it seems like you got, the four major things being, mood, trade, move features, and the premium option. And I'm about to break all that stuff down though. But, let's go ahead and take this one step at a time. So let's go ahead and read about this move Pokemon side. So, within this, as you can see right here, through this little diagram right over here, we know that Pokemon Home is going to be able to freely trade between, Pokemon Sword and Shield and the Pokemon Home application. Now, the Pokemon Home application, as we can see here, there's going to be like two different apps. So there's one dedicated fully towards your Nintendo Switch, and then you also got a version that's fully dedicated for your mobile phone. So it'll be kind of like a nice kind of convenience thing to be able to access it, not only just on your main system, but also on your phone while you're going out here and there. So here in front of me it says the Nintendo Switch version of the Home supports connectivity with the games I just said. Let's Go Eevee, The Bank, Sword and Shield, as well as Pokemon Go. And both the Nintendo Switch version and the mobile device version of Pokemon Home supports connectivity with the Nintendo 3DS software from Pokemon Bank. So this basically just kind of says, from what kind of games can you actually, move it from one thing over to another. But then let's go ahead and check the trade stuff. So this is where we kind of get to see, more features about the thing. So with your mobile device, we will be able to trade Pokemon anytime, anywhere. And there are like four major ways, I guess, how you can trade Pokemon. So one is through the Wonder Box, and Pokemon placed in the Wonder Box can be traded with people around the world before you even know it. And the Pokemon placed in the Wonder Box will be traded even when you're not using Home. So this is kind of like your, you throw that Pokemon in there, you don't know exactly what you kind of get back. So it's kind of like wonder trading, which you can sort of kind of do already within Pokemon Sword and Shield itself though. But what Pokemon Home would it actually consistent of every single Pokemon ever with the whole national dex. It'll be kind of nice to have that little additional feature there though. And then the main thing is the GTS. Now I know a lot of people were complaining about the GTS, with it not being in Sword and Shield at all, and it being completely axed. I had a good feeling it was going to be incorporated into the Pokemon Home service, and yeah, I was definitely right about that one though. Because with the GTS, you'll be able to specify which Pokemon you want to trade and which Pokemon you want to receive, and then be matched with a trainer whose request meets those kind of criteria. Like back in the past, you can ask for a certain level, a certain Pokemon, yada yada yada, and you'll be able to even request Pokemon that you haven't yet registered in the Pokemon Home's national Pokedex. So it's kind of interesting how Pokemon Home, you're gonna have like a built-in national dex within the Pokemon Home service application. So basically, the matter of fact that you're able to ask for literally any kind of Pokemon, it does sort of kind of, I guess it's sort of kind of like a cheat method, to be honest, because you can ask for any Pokemon that you don't necessarily have registered as your national dex in Pokemon Home, then trade that Pokemon or transfer it into your Pokemon Sword and Shield games. Thus, you'll be able to fairly, be able to, beat the whole entire the Pokedex thing in terms of, completing that regional Pokedex though. So it technically would make things a lot easier, and I will say, if you have some good rare Pokemon or whatever though, I feel like this makes, completing and actually having a national dex for every single Pokemon would probably make it a whole lot easier. Because in times past with the GTS, you had to actually have the Pokemon kind of registered to your Pokedex though. Then we have room trading, and room trade lets you create a room and trade Pokemon among people who basically joins the room. And each room can hold up to 20 people. To add a little suspense, you won't know what Pokemon you'll receive until the trade is complete. So, trading in rooms has no cost, but you'll be able to create rooms when enrolled in a premium plan. So it's basically saying with this is, if you're rolling with a free option of Pokemon Home, you'll be able to just join rooms or whatever though. But if you have premium, then you'll be able to actually host your rooms and set up the kind of rules like that though. So a little interesting little thing, a little different for Wonder Trade. I think that'll be probably better for if you have like groups of friends. And I'm probably gonna get the premium version though, so I'll probably be able to trade with my friends and just have us do some like random good old trades to see what we can get though. But a little interesting right there. And then also you got the friend trade, and the friend trade allows you to trade Pokemon with other users who you become friends with within Pokemon Home. And as we can kind of see in this application over here to the right, you basically can see like all the different people that was on that original listing right there. Let's see if there's anything else. And yeah, so you'll be able to see from whom you're trading up here and what you basically kind of got right down there though. So yeah, this is kind of basically probably an easier situation to be able to trade with your friends rather than technically trading with your friends within Sword and Shield. Because within Sword and Shield, you have to do that weird number code, connect to the internet, everything else like that, and then hope that no one else actually chooses that same code. I don't know why they got it set up like that, but what they're doing in Pokemon Home is better, and that honestly needed to be within Sword and Shield though. But that's just like a little hot take up on that, and that's basically it in terms of the trading features though. But we also got a little more features section over here. So the National Pokedex. Pokemon will be registered in the National Pokedex when you deposit them in the boxes of Pokemon Home. If you move a Pokemon, that can Mega Evolve or Gigantamax, then these forms will be registered too. So it's registering everything from, your standard base Pokemon to what would be technically the Alolan forms to even the Mega Evolution ones, including the Gigantamax one. It's recording all of it. So you'll be able to see different Pokedex entries from various different games all in one place. Now, the fact of the matter that they also said that you'll be able to see different Pokedex entries from different games. Like as you can see kind of down here where the Charizard X is at, you can see the Pokedex entry for X, Y, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Sword and Shield, as well as Let's Go Eevee and probably Pikachu as well. Not sure if they go all the way back within the Gen 5, Gen 4, 3, 2, 1 entries though. But I think this is going to be kind of like a good, nice little feature because the Pokedex entries always change usually for the most part with almost every single gen. So to think that, you basically have a good long list of history of, being able to see different Dex entries or whatever though like that, I think that's actually going to be a pretty cool kind of neat little feature, that in itself though. And also within the mobile app of Pokemon Home, you'll be able to see much more than just the Pokedex entries. You'll also be able to check each Pokemon's abilities as well as the moves it can learn. Now, I think, honestly, shoot, this might even give Cerebi a run for its money. Because imagine the fact that if you had a Machamp and you're able to pull that Pokemon up and you'd be like, okay, what kind of moves can you learn? And then you just scroll down through the list and see, oh, it can learn Aerial Ace, Aerial Blast, Agility, all this different stuff. You might not be able to know exactly what level it learns it on, but at least you get to know, the different types of moves that Pokemon can learn. So I think, that's a good quality of life thing as well. And then also we got the mystery gifts, and, just to wrap it up real quick with the mystery gifts though, essentially you can get mystery gifts in terms of certain Pokemon or, certain items that they'll actually do throughout the mystery gift in order to be kind of sent, through the Pokemon Home, where you can eventually, also get it within Sword and Shield as well though. And then I think the next thing we got over here is the Judging Pokemon. And if you're rolled in the premium plan, which, that's the one that costs, and I'll break down, the cost stuff once we hit that premium tab over here though. But you'll be able to access the Judge function, which allows you to check how strong your Pokemon are. And this pretty much kind of breaks down, like the IVs, or probably as well as maybe the EVs as well though. But you'll be able to check that, because I know you can do it in Sword and Shield, although you have to get so far within the battle tower in order to kind of check those IVs though. But if you're trying to check all the different Pokemon and not just the ones within Sword and Shield, it is going to cost you a little bit in order to do that though. So there is that. And then obviously your room. In your room, you'll be able to see all sorts of information about the events or the games you're connected to with Pokemon Home. And you'll also be able to edit your profile using stickers. You can obtain stickers when you meet certain conditions or perform certain tasks in Pokemon Home known as challenges. So it's kind of like, almost sort of kind of like a accomplishments kind of thing. Like, like how you can do get like trophies or something like that whenever you're playing certain games and trying to build off of accomplishments or achievements or something on that kind of level of degree though. And it seems like Pokemon Home is basically going to sort of kind of have like the same kind of thing. Also, it just kind of helps keep up with certain events of different games you have connected. So maybe there's an event that's going on within the Let's Go games or something like that, but not really that. It'll probably be more so if something happens when it's Sword and Shield or any other future titles they have. It's just probably like a good, it's a good home base to be able to keep track of all the different things that are kind of going down Pokemon related though. And then there's a couple or a few more things in here. We also have the battle data in the mobile app version of Pokemon Home. You can check out how ranked battles and various online competitions with Sword and Shield is going. By going through the battle data, you'll also be able to see the battle records of each trainer, as well as information of what moves are popular among Pokemon in competitions. So if you're a really high level competitive person, you'd be able to probably get some advanced statistics and saying, what are the common Pokemon that are used within certain events or within certain kind of competitions though. So I think that's pretty nice for competitive people though. But the battle data function, do note on this, is expected to become available sometime later in February of 2020. So it's not going to be there at launch, but it's going to be an additional feature that'll be added later down the road. And yeah, you'll also be able to receive the same kind of news stuff as what you kind of did with Pokemon Sword and Shield within like that news category on that game. You'll also be able to see the same news over here on Pokemon Home. Now, I think one of the last things that's up on this thing is Pokemon Home points. And these Pokemon Home points that accumulate in Pokemon Home, you basically get those points you'll get those points based upon how many Pokemon you actually deposit within Pokemon Home, and probably coinciding with how many Pokemon you basically complete within the National Dex on the Home application. So when using the Nintendo Switch version of this Pokemon Home, you'll be able to exchange your Pokemon Home points for battle points, and those can be used within the core series games. So I'm thinking, hey, that's gonna be really cool, because imagine Pokemon Go, and you can play Pokemon Go when you're going out to, go to school or, going to work or whatever though, or you're just running out some errands, you chunk a few balls, you catch a Pikachu here, a Butterfree there, a Fanfy there or whatever though, and you slowly capture those Pokemon like that. You transfer all this stuff to the Pokemon Home, and boom, bada bing, you're starting to get some home points where you can transfer to battle points, and those can help you within your competitions and stuff whenever you're playing, Pokemon Sword or Shield or any other kind of future titles. So I'm thinking, that's actually pretty cool right there. The matter of fact, they did that like that. So it honestly make getting battle points a whole lot easier. It just depends on like how much the currency for it. It just depends on the kind of currency. We can kind of see right here, it says the Pokemon Home points. It says like 16, or right here in the fine print, very fine print, it says like 1 battle point equals 30 home points. So, you gotta have 30 home points in order to equal 1 battle point. So I think over time, depending on, how many Pokemon you actually catch, it will, sort of kind of help you out with some battle points. So that was really nice for them to include. So there's, and this basically kind of shows a spreadsheet of everything that you're basically able to do either on the Nintendo Switch version of the Home application or on the mobile phone application. So, move Pokemon Let's Go with the Let's Go games, you can only do that on the Switch version. Move Pokemon Sword and Shield, the home or the Switch version. Move Pokemon with Pokemon Bank, you can do it either your phone or the Switch version. Judging Pokemon, you can do it on both versions. And then the trading, receiving mystery gifts, the check battle data, and check news is only on the mobile phone version. And then lastly, you got exchanging Pokemon Home points for battle points. Obviously, you got to do that on the Switch version because you're going to use it with Sword and Shield. So that's basically all the features, at least at this moment. So we never know if they're going to actually add more to it though. But those are all the features that we do know in terms of how you move Pokemon trade or even the additional features though. But now the big question that everybody is asking is how much is this going to cost? So we go over here and click the premium. There's basically a basic plan and there's a premium plan. Now get this, the basic plan is, obviously you'll get basic features, but you do not have to pay 1 cent to be able to use some of these features within the Pokemon Home application. Although you can get the paid option in order to have basically everything that's there to be offered within Pokemon Home. So if you want to do 1 month of Pokemon Home, it costs about $3, and this is all for North America pricing. For 3 months, which is 90 days, you got $5, and then for a whole entire year, which will save you the most money compared to the previous other ones, if you stack like multiple 1 months or multiple 3 months, is for that 12-month plan, you got $16. Now, originally, if you think about Pokemon Bank originally cost $5 for a whole entire year. So to think that Pokemon Home actually went up in price and went up to $16, I'd say it's a little bit steep. I ain't gonna lie, it's a little bit steep. But at the same time, you also gotta keep in mind the fact of the matter that they're not just only, you're basically using Home, which is a storage feature, which you're also able to import stuff from Pokemon Bank. So you're storing Pokemon from a bank to another storage device. You gotta think about that. You gotta think about how in the world they're gonna incorporate, getting Pokemon Go Pokemon and Pokemon Home constantly. You gotta think about that, as well as these servers don't run themselves, so they gotta find a way to pay it though. But $16 is a little bit of a lot. But if you technically break it down in terms of how much it actually costs within like a month, if you actually decided to say, if you broke down that 12-month fee of that $16 and you actually went into it and said, how much it costs for each month. Let me do the math on this real quick. So 16 divided by 12 is actually $1.33 per month, which is a lot cheaper than $3 for a whole entire month. So that's how you can kind of see that comparison though. So basically, everybody wants to know, what can you do within the free option, what can you do within the paid option though. So within the free option, so basically if you want to transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Bank, you can't do that in the free option. You have to pay. So if you're thinking about it like, okay, well, let me try to pay once and not pay for this thing at all anymore after that, which is something I did consider at one moment. It's going to cost you $3 to import all those Pokemon from Bank into Home. And then hopefully from Home, you can get them all down within Sword and Shield though. But that does raise an issue, which I'll talk about here in just a few moments though. But there was that. And then the number of Pokemon that can be deposited, you can only get 30 within the basic plan, the free option, and 6,000 within the premium plan. Now that right there is a huge stinger and kicker. Those two within the Pokemon Bank transferring, as well as how much can be deposited, is really going to make people decide whether or not they're going to go with the free option or they're going to go with the premium option. And then you also got the other little features in there, such as like the number of Pokemon you can place within the Wonder Box. You got 3 within free, 10 within the premium. The number of Pokemon that can be placed in the GTS, you got 1 for the basic and 3 for the premium. You got room trade. You can either only participate if you got free, but you can participate and host if you got the premium. And then the judge function, you can't even do that at all in the free version. However, you can do, the only way how you can do it is in the premium version. So obviously, the premium version got everything up in it. Basic really limits it. But the main key 2 things you really want to pay attention to, because, the Wonder Trading, the GTS, you might be able to get around the room trading, and you might do the judge function through the actual Sword and Shield games themselves, after you got so far in the Battle Tower though. But the big thing is not being able to transfer at all from Pokemon Bank unless you have premium, which is going to make almost everybody and their mama shell out at least $3 in order to try to get their Pokemon from Pokemon Bank. However, do keep this in mind. When Pokemon Home actually launches, they're actually going to make Pokemon Bank free for a whole entire month. Because remember, you do have to pay $5 for a whole entire year to even use Bank. So you need that activated before you can even use Home in order to transfer all that stuff from Bank up into Home. So do capitalize on that. So make sure you go in there, you get that free 1-month application of Pokemon Bank, transfer as many Pokemon as you can in there to get it to Home, and then get it from Home into Sword and Shield. Now the big problem is Pokemon Sword and Shield doesn't have the whole entire National Dex stuff in it. So that's where the main number 1 issue comes into play. Because keep that in mind, is you can only transfer or keep 30 Pokemon into Pokemon Bank at any given one point. So if you're thinking about it, it's like, oh shoot, well, if you only got 30 Pokemon to transfer or keep up in there at one time, you're not going to be able to keep up every single Pokemon that might not be within Sword and Shield's National Dex. You also got to keep in mind that we're also getting DLC updates with new Pokemon where you're able to transfer in certain other Pokemon later within like June of whenever the first DLC Wave 1 hits, and then more within the fall. And the fall, we know that that's when all the legendary Pokemon get added in there. So that's how you're going to want to trade in and, import all your previous legendaries that way though. So some things to kind of keep in mind though. But at least for me, I kind of did the math up on it and figured out, what? Instead of me paying, 3 different times to add Pokemon 3 different times throughout the whole entire year for the 1 month, as well as paying the $5 extra because, outside of February, you know, Pokemon Bank, it's going to cost money again to reactivate that thing if I was trying to reintroduce some DLC Pokemon. So I said, you know what, I did the math and figured out, you know what, I might as well just pay for premium, at least for the first year, to get as many Pokemon as I can into my natural core games. And then from there, once all my Pokemon has, you know, existed into a core game, whether it be Gen 8, Gen 9, or wherever we're at that point, then I could probably switch over and make do with the free version though. But that's just me though. But let me know down in the comment section down below, what all you kind of think about this Pokemon Home thing. Are you really looking forward to the features and stuff that are actually kind of showcasing off within this, or are you a little bit kind of skeptical or kind of worried about, you know, about the pricing and stuff, and then the whole deal with the national dex and stuff? And that's one thing that didn't really talk about well or at all in this. As a matter of fact, that what happens to your Pokemon if obviously you don't pay. You know, you got Pokemon in Pokemon Home, you don't pay, and then you have way more than 30 Pokemon up in there. Are they just going to instantly, you know, delete? Like, if you had 60 Pokemon in Bank or Home, are they going to delete 30 of them and just keep another 30 up in there? We don't know exactly how that's going to work or whatnot, though. So there's a few more questions I want to kind of figure out within Pokemon Home, though. But, you know, this is something that we're going to have to learn over time, though. But that's about it for this video, though. So if you really like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and that bell to keep up to date on all things gaming related, Nintendo topic related, or anything else like that, though. So remember, y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.